What's up, everybody? Welcome to We Are the Table podcast. I'm Sharon Rogers, and I have my co-host, Miss Katrina, on here. Miss Cat, welcome.
Hey.
She's filling in for Luana, so y'all shout out to Luana. She's not feeling good, so send a little prayer up for her.
Yes.
And today we have a really good guest, a friend of mine that I wanted to bring on today. The topic is we're going to be talking about Mr. Real, rich even after losses. I'm excited. Katrina, are you excited?
I am very excited. Very
Yeah.
excited, actually.
So before I bring him on, I do want to talk about a few things because he is an author and he has a book that he wrote called Why Don't We Ask Why? He also has a lifestyle brand called Real. He's an award-winning entrepreneur, published author, thought leader, and full-time father. He's recognized as Tampa Bay's top 10 under 40.
Yes.
Presidential Lifetime Achievement Award recipient. He's also a world traveler. If you follow him on Instagram, you will see that he goes to more countries than he do dates. Okay. 38 different countries. Remember, he's under 40. Okay. I know his age, 38 countries. I think he's been to more countries than he's been living. All right. He uses the exposure to aid and mentorship of others. And as the visionary behind the lifestyle brand Real, rich even after losses, he empowers others to build wealth, unleash the power within through resilience despite any challenges faced along the way. Okay, so we got Mr. Vic Gurley coming on the line. He's going to talk to us about his brand, and we're super excited to hear from him today. So, welcome, Vic.
What's going on? What's going on?
Hey, Vic.
What's
Appreciate
up,
y'all for having me.
Yes.
Vic? I ain't seen you in a while. You know, me and Vic used to do these Talk About It Tuesdays live for months. We was in a group together called Sick, and we did some stuff similar to what we do in CEO Babes, but on a bigger scale. Like we was traveling and doing it. So they actually was the motivation behind me starting the CEO Babes because I was like, dang, I'm around all these bosses, and then when we would travel, I didn't have to do nothing. They was like buying sections and bottles, and we taking the money from these hosting. We was hosting, wasn't we, Vic? Getting these hosting gigs out of town, using that money to put into nonprofits. We did toys for Houston. We did toys for tots, hoodies for homeless. Staple chick. What did Nashville have? Steeplechase.
Yeah, the steeplechase, the derby there.
Yeah, we did the Derby. We did New York. Y'all went to New York and Brooklyn. Yeah, we did a lot of good stuff. We had fun. We did a lot of stuff in Tampa too. We did a lot of homeless drives, feed the homeless. So he's big on philanthropy work. So I'm excited because, you know, even though I'm not in Tampa, I will be coming back to Tampa. That's my hometown. I love it. I will be there soon back there. You know, lifing and, you know, things happen with your girl. But this one right here kept my inbox jumping because he was like Mr. Bachelor of Tampa. So you understand that he's a heavy sapiosexual. So that means your looks was not that wasn't gonna draw him in. And I was telling girls left and right, I'm like, girl, no, that ain't girl. You know what I'm saying? You gotta come with it. It's hard to find somebody for him because he's very specific about what he likes and what he's looking for. But not only that, he's very accomplished. And I want to talk about that, Vic. First, I want to talk about a couple things. You have a lifestyle brand called Real. Let's talk about why you started that.
Initially, I started the brand because I've never been into like the designer brands. I was never a fan of paying $600 for a t-shirt. So I said, I want to create something that, you know, gives me that I feel good about wearing, but that's mine. So I ended up creating Real. And that was kind of based on just circumstances in life, experiences in life. So it was something basically that had a meaning, a message that could apply to anybody.
Yeah. I've worn his shirts, the quality of his shirts and his hoodies and his yoga sets, top tier. I don't know what vendor he uses, top tier. Like seriously, top. If I didn't gain this weight and wasn't my size, I am I would still be wearing it because the quality of them, I've like washed them and everything. I just need bigger sizes, but
Awesome.
you know, it is what it is. But I'm telling you, his quality. But you're saying that's the clothing brand, but real is a lifestyle. That's what your brand is. You do other things under that, right?
Yeah. So with that consulting, um, business, so I got into mentorship and coaching, and what I realized is a lot of people want the final product, they want the outcome of it, but that's pretty much it. They don't actually want to do, like for instance, I had short-term rentals, so I was teaching people how to start Airbnb business, corporate housing, things like that. As I was mentoring people, I came to the realization that they didn't actually want to do that. They wanted what came from doing that. So then that led to asking the questions of what are you actually passionate about, helping them figure out what they're passionate about, and and getting them to understand that it starts with the mindset. So yeah, everybody wants to be rich, everybody wants to make a lot of money, but you got to be rich mentally before you ever are financially.
That's right.
So that the whole message of that is, you know, it kind of intertwines with a lot of things like the life I've lived, business, relationships, some of everything, and it applies to all of it.
Okay. So you're a single father, full-time single father at that, and you're an author. Tell us about the book.
So the book is called "Why Don't We Ask Why," and it's really about self discovery and purpose. So it's a fictional story with three characters. Well, it's told from the perspective of three characters:
Mm-hmm.
a man, an elephant, and an apple tree.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know that sounds kind of odd. You like a man, an elephant, and an apple tree. So each character represents a different stage in life. So when you look at a life on like a spectrum, plants are probably the most simplistic. On the opposite end is us. We're probably the most complex.
Mm-hmm.
So as soon as we're born, we're influenced by all the things around us. Our parents tell us what to believe in. Our parents, tell us how we're supposed to behave. All those different things, all kind of outside influences. Plants, on the other hand, they're born with a purpose, and that's their purpose. When an apple tree is planted, it produces what?
Apples.
Apples. It's not going to produce oranges, it's not going to produce lemons, not going to produce mangoes. No matter what anything around it does, it's only going to produce apples because that's its purpose.
Okay.
So as we get more complex, we have more of those influences and we get further away from our purpose. So the idea is to, or in the book, it's kind of a journey. So the man is kind of going on a journey. It's going through some tough times, trying to figure life out, and ends up encountering the elephant, and then has an encounter with the apple tree, and is able to take lessons from each of them. Well, all of them actually take lessons from each other because again, they represent different phases in life. So this is a book that people can read in different phases of their life and take out different things. So each time you read it, you're probably gonna pull something different.
Okay. So I know Katrina ordered the book. I have the book, but question: what made you write the book? Why did you feel the need to have to write this book?
Uh, so I had a situation in my life where, because I was actually writing a book based around my brand, and it was gonna be kind of tailored around business and things like that. I was working on an app with somebody, with a friend of mine at the time. Long story short, I ended up losing $103,000. He stole about $100,000 from me.
Oh.
So that led to me initially. Initially, I wanted to kill him. That was initially, but I remember pacing back and forth in my living room, and my son came out of his room and was tugging at my leg. I looked down, was like, I can't do nothing to this dude if I want to, because I got somebody that depend on me.
Right.
So from there, that forced me to ask myself, like, why do we chase money like this when it could be gone just like that?
Hmm.
And that's where the question why came from. And then that snowballed into all kind of other things. So I started studying everything from finances, government structure, the judicial system, spirituality, religion, all of the, and finding out the whys behind all of these things. So that is ultimately what led me to writing the book.
Nice. Nice. Love it, Katrina.
Yes. My question is, how did you determine to structure the book the way that you did as it relates to reading it again and again and still being able to get something different from it? What inspired that? Was there a
So
book?
so really I wanted to, I made it fictional, and I created fictional characters. And in the book, or at the end of the book, I have a breakdown of like the symbolism, because the book is full of symbolism. So I break down like what each character represents, what each scene and environment represents in real life. And I did it that way so that it's more relatable to more people. Because sometimes when you're trying to get somebody to see the truth about themselves, they have a hard time because they try to disconnect themselves from the problem. So they're never actually able to solve any problems. So by writing it like this, it's one of those things where you can read it multiple times and you can relate to each character based on where you at in your life at that time.
Nice. Okay, so you talked about your son coming in who stopped you from wanting to kill the person that stole that. That's a good amount of money from you. But what has being a single father taught you about yourself? Like, what's the hardest part and most rewarding part of that? Because you always have your, not always, but you have your son a big majority of the time. And I know that you center your life around that. So, like, what has it taught you?
A lot. I would say the biggest is probably patience. Um, so from day one, so my son came home from the hospital with me, and it's just me with a newborn. So
It's
of
amazing.
course, newborns wake up every couple hours, got to eat, got to change diapers. So learning patience, and attached to that came with sympathy and empathy. I've always said I was never taught sympathy and empathy. So I'm very straightforward, cut and dry. I don't like too many gray areas. So I like to make sure that we got to understand and people know where I stand. Um, and that will come off kind of abrasive sometimes
Mhm.
because we live in a pretty sensitive society, to say the least.
And you're a cancer. Let's add that in.
But
That you're a cancer.
I'm a Gemini.
Gemini. That I
Yeah,
mean Gemini. That's
yeah, I'm a Gemini.
that's even worse. Gemini.
Yeah. but but I'm truthful, and I understand that in the world we live in, everybody don't like truth. So uh with my son, it got to the point where it's like I can't just be this hard, cold, you know, direct person. I gotta take into account like this is a child. He don't even understand. So I had to be softer. And then that kind of transitioned over into, life as well. Uh, Not as much because ain't nobody. I ain't no pushover now.
Right.
But
Well, Vic, I thought you was a cancer. You're a Gemini? I thought you was June.
I'm a last day of Gemini.
June 21st? Yeah, they said them June Geminis ain't the same as them May Geminis. I'm just saying that's what I heard. I don't know if it's true, but I
I
heard
heard
it's
I
a
think the
little bit
early
more.
half is most sensitive. I think those are the sensitive ones.
The Mays?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I won't tell y'all my thoughts.
Yeah, them Geminis or something else. Okay, yeah,
No matter
I
no
do
matter
good.
what month is in.
Yeah, I do good with Geminis as friends. I mean, One of my business partners now is a Gemini. Me and Vic was pretty close at one point too. So I mean, I kind of understand them, but they don't have that gray area. They kind of like very abrasive, cut and dry. So we talked about you visited or traveled to 38 countries, not cities, countries. I know, Luana, June Geminis are the worst. That's what I heard. But countries. What's your favorite country you've been to?
Indonesia. Bali.
Indonesia. Why? What about it was your favorite? What made that your favorite?
It's an energy in Bali. That is, I feel like it's a very spiritual place, and it just has a feel. The people are nice. Surrounded by nature. It's a beautiful country overall, and they really they really focus on like health and wellness out there. Like that's big in Bali.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Because you're into health and whatnot. Like you grow you're plant based, right? You grow your own food.
Yeah.
And cook your own food. Like you have a pretty plant based type lifestyle that you live right now, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Can you name some of the countries you've been to? Like some of your favorite ones besides Bali? Like just name about a few of them. Ever your favorite? Your top
Italy, Thailand, Japan, Botswana, Peru.
Okay. And how has traveling shaped your mindset? Like, why do you like to travel to countries? Do you go solo all the time, or sometimes?
Most of the time I am.
Really?
And the other times?
Other times it just really depends. It depends. If somebody can keep up and they tag along, then hey, cool.
Do you ever take your kids?
Yeah. So my son, well, I haven't taken him out of the country yet, but
Okay.
but nah, I plan on doing that as well. When he can really like appreciate it. But nah, he for sure gonna have.
Okay, I got a question about one of your countries. Where did you have your best adventure? Whether it's like
Costa Rica, and that just happened. I'm gonna say the one that was last week.
You went to Costa Rica last week?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say because I pretty much just drove all over the country, and Costa Rica is one of those places where being surrounded by nature, it's like I took some videos, but it really don't do it justice. I mean, you got fruit growing everywhere, so you got banana trees and all kind of different fruits and stuff that's growing just in the wild. That's whoever can come get it, and of course, you're not gonna see that in America. And just like the energy there, everything's natural, everything's fresh. Everybody has their own like livestock, fruit trees and vegetables and stuff on their properties. So it's like, and then even the government takes it seriously when it comes to like cutting into nature, like the rainforest and stuff like that. So they have 2-lane roads going up the mountains. They won't extend them because they know that they would have to cut into rainforest.
Right.
Which they're against, which is very respectable. Obviously, in America, we not so much.
Right.
But yeah, like that adventure alone, like waking up at 4 a.m. and hearing the sounds of the rainforest, it really felt like something out of a movie.
That's amazing.
But Vic, you a country boy for real. Like you from Nashville, because we went back to your hometown, right? You're a real true country boy. You're not a born and raised Floridian, right?
Oh no. Nah.
Okay. I thought so, because I done seen you build some stuff too. So I mean, you like a jack of all trades. I'm just trying to figure out why I don't know if you single or not, so I guess that's a question we should ask you later. But Why you not married? I know that you're not married. You know how to make money. You're well traveled. Good father. Why is Vic not married?
Because I'm not a easy person to date. I don't think I'm an easy man to date for women. And the reason why is because, and again, this isn't all women, because I know women in the comments who gonna be like, oh, well, not me. But a majority of women, at least from my experience, I feel like too many women try to put men as like the centerpiece of their life. And I don't want to be the centerpiece of nobody's life. I don't want to be your everything. I want you to be whole. I'm whole. Then we come together and we create something special. So those are my expectations. And then when it comes to being in a relationship, and then it's like, okay, if there are some things that's missing, yeah, I can coach you. I can provide the leadership, the provision, all of those things. But it's very difficult to correct women today. It's very difficult.
You're being very political.
Let me be careful.
Very political. When you say whole, what do you mean by that? Like you want them to, you don't want them to make the man the center of their lives.
Know yourself. Be comfortable with yourself.
Have your own thing going on. You have your own thing going on, and then y'all like two minds, two visions, one goal isn't how you feel, because that's kind of how I am.
No, I think that it's hard for somebody like, okay, in the position that I'm in now, if you caught me years ago when I wasn't where I'm at now, then it probably would have been easier. But where I'm at now, there's a lot less leeway. There's a lot smaller margin for error. And the reason is because of all of the things I've already gone through, from the mistakes that I've made and from the experiences that I've had. So I'm not trying to go down those lanes again. And a lot of people haven't gotten to that point in their life.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot less options to choose from when it comes to something like that.
Okay, Vic. So we about to get in, because
we gotta get into
let's talk about it.
There's a lot to unpack with that.
Yeah, and we gotta unpack it, Katrina, because the first thing you said was women tend to make men the center of their world, right? Weren't we put on the earth to nurture, to pour into, to support? Doesn't necessarily mean we're making you the center, but we are making you a priority. Mm-hmm. Who doesn't want to be in a relationship and not be a priority? And so for me, I mean, like I said, two minds, two vision, one goal. So like, if I got this going on and you got this going on, but if you're focusing on making me happy and I'm focusing on making you happy, no one loses. I'm not quite sure how I understand what you're meaning by not prioritizing your guy, or not. I understand not making him your world, but when you kind of are locked in, that's kind of close to what they expect of you to do.
So it's not an issue with prioritizing. Like, yes, each partnership prioritizes each other. When I say make a man the center of your world, a lot of times everything, again, this is I'm speaking from my experience. I know all women may not be like this, but there's a lot of times where women will get in a relationship and now it's like all of a sudden you forget how to do everything.
Okay.
And it's like, now, because I'm the man and because I'm established, I'm responsible for taking care of all these things. Now, I also know that there are women who can come and they don't operate that way. So I understand that.
Yes.
Those are called liabilities, Vic. You're looking for an asset, not a liability.
Exactly.
So this is the challenge, though. So men and women look for very different things in partners.
Okay, tell
So
us what
women are typically looking for that security. They're looking for somebody who's financially stable, leader, provision, those things, right? So as a man, we're not looking for we're not looking for a woman's accomplishments. And a lot of times, again, from my experience, women lead with their accomplishments and will say, oh, well, I make this much a year and I got this many degrees and that's all great. I will never discount that. That's all great. But that does not help me. That does not benefit me as a man in a relationship. So if you choose to do those things and you haven't learned how to master being a feminine woman and nurturing what I bring to the table, then you're
but that's what I said. I said we are here to nurture, support.
right.
So those are the priority. Well, let me speak for myself because I can't speak for all women. In my when I was married, that's what I was supposed to do. Yes, we do come with our own accomplishments and we are proud of those accomplishments. So we may highlight those accomplishments, but your one and main priority as a woman is to stay in your feminine energy with anything you do. So the accomplishments don't make you the one. Like you can be accomplished and not be feminine and not be in your feminine energy. Sometimes it even can take away from your feminine energy because you feel like you can pop it more. But as a woman who is groomed to be a wife, which I have been, when you date like me, like dating now is different than dating before I was married. Okay, when before I was married, it was like breakfast, lunch, dinner, who, what, man eater. You know what I'm saying? Because I was selfish
Yeah.
and I didn't prioritize their needs. All I cared about is what I could get. After
Mhm.
being with a husband, and if you have a good husband, I would say I did. He taught me the importance of staying in your feminine energy and the nurturing and support and peace that a man requires over you providing, you getting to the bag, you bossing up. Those things to me were things I wanted to accomplish as a woman, but not necessarily my duties as a wife. So now, after not being married and dating, the boundaries that I have to set with dating is hard for me because I go into instant wife mode. I just met this guy and I want to help him build his business. I want to help him do because this is the nurturing and supportive aspect of me that I've been groomed to have. So what I in my head when you say what you say, let me make sure I understand you.
Yes.
Women need to prioritize being more supportive and nurturing and feminine and soft with their men versus leading with their accomplishments and their money and assets. Is that what you're saying?
Part
Yes.
women need to, I think women should prioritize making themselves whole first
Yes.
Gotcha.
before coming into a relationship and expecting a man to fill in their missing pieces.
And
That's the
vice
part
versa.
they need to.
And vice versa. So
Yeah,
I
what I noticed is
absolutely.
you're
okay,
describing a
I
particular type,
misunderstood him.
a
Go ahead.
particular type of woman. And I completely understand you not looking for that type of woman because you're already accomplished and you're not really looking for somebody to support you in that way. You're looking for feminine energy mainly. Everything else is, take care of you. I'm gonna take care of me. We come together and meet in the middle, right?
Yeah.
Those things are easy to come by. So you being single because of that wouldn't be the issue. It'd be the pool that you're playing in.
Is the
See,
issue.
so that's typically the response that I get. So this is what I'll say to that. Um, is it out there? Absolutely.
Yes.
But the challenge today is you can tell the difference because everybody's doing the same things. It could be a cashier at McDonald's, it could be a travel nurse, it could be a Fortune 500 executive.
Right. And guess what?
And you can line them all up
Mm-hmm.
in the same environment, and you wouldn't be able to tell the difference. Most of the time.
You can.
Most of the time.
Absolutely, you can. Mental health, because I'm gonna read that all day long.
Uh-huh.
Mental health. You have to spend time with each individual person to understand where their mental health is,
Yep.
and you'll be able to discern if you do
Yep.
the things appropriately, which ones meet you.
So Vic, okay, so let's say the McDonald's worker, what was the other two? The executive, and what was the other one?
And a
traveling nurse.
Traveling nurse. Okay, let's say they all sitting in their feminine energy, they're nurturing, they're not boasting on their accomplishments or their bank accounts or any of that. They're all feminine, right? Because you said you can't tell them apart. They all giving that same feminine energy, but you do know what they do. Are you gonna pick the McDonald's worker over the traveler nurse and the executive? Especially
they're all the same personality.
They're all the same.
They all feminine.
Oh yeah, give me McDonald's.
Why do you say that?
Because I know what comes with. So I'm also a businessman, so I know what comes with that.
Vic,
so yes, you can have all these great qualities, but again, I know what comes with that, and I know if your focus is on your business, your focus isn't going to be on the relationship.
Well, you just said you wanted somebody separating their ability.
That's what's confusing me.
Again, I haven't said nothing about business because I don't care. I don't care what you do for a living.
You talking about their mental, their heart, their whole.
I'm talking about them as a person. I'm talking about as a woman.
Okay. I get it. I misunderstood you. I thought you were talking about having their own thing. Okay.
He did say they want to be. He wants them to be whole, healed,
right.
understanding themselves. So I do recall saying that.
Yeah, you're not gonna hear men talking about a woman's career and how much money she make and how many degrees she got and all the things she accomplished when he's looking for a partner.
Okay, so
men aren't checking for that.
What's something men don't say out loud, but they should? Like, what is something that we think y'all like, but y'all don't, that y'all don't tell us? Like, this your time to tell us. What is something men don't say out loud that they should?
Yes.
Because you kind of just said something out loud, but I don't know if it was caught with the audience, what he just said.
That we don't care about your accomplishments and anything that's not natural. We prefer natural. Men prefer natural.
Bodies included?
Yeah.
So many men don't care.
What's your biggest
about what?
About whether it's natural or not.
Oh no. So this is the thing. Men can lust over women who got their bodies done. But if you look around in America today, you go on Instagram and you look at women today that got the best figures. How many of them got rings on their fingers? How many of them is being taken serious?
The ratio is ratioing. I completely understand that.
So that should be very telling to women that, okay, yeah, it's nice to look at. Now, I ain't gonna lie. Yeah, it might be nice to look at if you got some nice curves.
But I do know this about you, Vic, because I've sat with Vic on panels, so I do know he prefer natural and he will look at unnatural. But and I do see a lot of the athletes and celebrities marry a more natural looking woman. She doesn't have a big old butt and big old this, but somebody they've kind of been rocking with for a while. Okay, so what if she's soft, she's healed, she's whole, like you said, but she got an unnatural body? What you gonna do? Are you gonna pick which one?
I'm not saying that it's completely off limits, but that's it. I mean, there's gonna have to be something special about her. That's not gonna be my first choice. I'm not gonna be like, oh, she got a banging body, I need her. Again, it might be look. Conversation is what's gonna drive it for me. I'm an intellectual, so I can find out pretty much all the things I need to know early on in conversation.
Exactly.
Because I don't have the typical, what's your favorite color? What's your favorite movie? What do you like to do for fun? I don't have those conversations.
So I got a
Okay,
question.
go ahead.
What's stopping you from picking someone to be with forever?
Nothing's stopping me. It's just I'm I don't feel like I need, and
Nobody
stay with me.
needs.
Stay with me here. Stay with me here. Stay with me.
Because girl, you gotta hold your breath with him. I'm telling you, I've done
Stay with
Like,
I'm
whoa.
I'm over here on my feet, like I got
I
something
don't
to say.
I
Right.
don't need anybody to make me whole or to complete my life right now. I don't. The reason why is because, like I said before, had somebody caught me early on when I was still, putting in the work, it's 100 times harder once you got to the finish line. Well, not the finish line, but y'all get what I mean. Um, because it's a constant process. You constantly evolving and growing. But once you get to that phase, it's extremely difficult to find somebody who's one genuine and they there for you and not just what you can do for them. And then you also have to deal with the person not being on that same level. So if they're not on that same level, you're going to have to revisit some of the things that you already passed, that you already grew from. So it's like a repeated cycle when you have a partner that hasn't gone through it yet.
It
Because their
can.
problems become your problems.
Go ahead, Katrina.
I was just going to say, I think that's going to be an occurrence regardless. Everybody learns different things at different times, different paces, all those things. You're always going to have to be a teacher. At least in my life, I want my man, whomever that may be, my forever, to teach me. I'm a I'm
Right.
a I'm a learning
Definitely.
type of girl. I want to learn every day of the week. Every experience that I have, I want to learn something from it, and take something positive. Putting that out is just like our philanthropy work. We do that with our partners. That's what we're
Mhm.
supposed to do. But I also want to make sure that I go home to a warm bed, and I can spread the love that I have to give with somebody closely. So for me, I think it's easier for me to find my forever than you, because I'm willing to do that extra work when it comes to teaching and learning and going back and forth, because there's going to be something on the other end. Say my partner doesn't didn't live with both parents at home. I did, so I'm going to learn something from them that I didn't learn in my life, and vice versa.
But you should want to evolve, and your person should be able to pull the best version of you out of you. If your person isn't making you the best version of yourself, what is the point? I have to learn from people. Whoever I'm in a serious committed relationship with, or even entertaining, I need to learn something from you. Or to me, I'm a sapiosexual too. So like I love this. You know what I'm saying? That's sexy to me. Um, so how has the past shaped your love today, Vic? Like, so with all that being said, we already know your pool is small, right? How
We
has it
know
shaped
that.
it for you today? Like, are you just like okay if I'm stay single and just, do forever, or I do at some point want to look for love, may have to adjust a little bit, or I'm just I'm gonna just stay how I am till I find what I'm looking for.
I would say I'm more open to it now than I was before. So just because I have the standards or I view things the way that I do doesn't mean that I'm not open to it. It's just that I'm a realist. And I know from a woman's perspective, you're not going to understand it from a man's point of view because you ain't never been a man. So I don't expect women to fully comprehend all of the things that I'm saying and communicating. But I communicate them so that there is some level of awareness that this is something that's happening. Because a lot of times when men voice their opinions or voice what they experience when dealing with women, a lot of times women do the same thing. Everybody says the same thing. Well, maybe it's the pool that you're choosing from, or maybe it's the women that you're around. Okay. But if you have a multitude of men across the spectrum that's saying the same things, there has to be a problem somewhere. We can't just keep kicking the can down the road.
That's true.
Right. We agree with that part. The part of me that is a realist, tatted on me and everything, realist all day long. That part says that means my vetting process, my discernment is where my issue is, how to find that pool appropriately. That's why I pushed the pool in there. Not saying that the pool is not dirty everywhere, it's dirty everywhere. We understand that aspect of it. But changing the trajectory of your circumstance means maybe I'm finding somebody out of the country when I'm there because that person
Exactly.
has a better understanding. Or you know what I mean? It's just a different aspect of dating.
Because
That
I
needs to
did
be
hear like a
explored.
lot of men go to like Colombia or, just because the culture of the women are more nurturing or more so, not just that country, but I'm just giving an example,
Right.
they say the women are more softer, more feminine, the culture, they're more, nurturing to their men, like Latino women and stuff like that. So like culturally, that in my head, I'm thinking maybe that's something he needs to maybe look into. That might be
So
something that's more suited for him.
so it's funny that you bring that up because that's exactly the trajectory of a lot of men that are established and that kind of had done that work. That is the trajectory that
We know.
we're going. So yes, there are women that are overseas, and I'm not talking about the prostitutes either. So
We weren't either.
I'll give an example. I'll give a real life example. In Costa Rica, the young lady that I was riding around, because she was showing me like all the local stuff. So she taking me all these different places.
6T.
She's a industrial engineer in Costa Rica.
Mm-hmm.
We've had conversations about, she's asked the question, why don't you have a girlfriend in America? Well, it's not that simple because there's a lot of layers to it. There's a lot of trauma, especially in the melanated community, on both sides with men and women. So the reason why women are in the mind frame they are, I understand it. I understand why, but we have to figure out how to move past it. It can't just keep being, oh well, I'm like this because ain't no man stepping up, or I'm. So then it goes back to the same thing. Like, okay, so what do you do to put yourself in position to be around those men who are able to provide that leadership, that provision, those things like that? And the reason why it's difficult in America, from at least what I think, is because a majority of women that have something established in their life are career focused. And that career focus takes away from the relationship focus. So let me compare that to in Costa Rica. So like I said, she's an industrial engineer. She has a very good job, makes good money. In America, again, not all women, but there's a common conversation that's had around like doing household duties, cooking, cleaning, things like that, right? And women say, I ain't no slave, I ain't no maid, I work all day and blah, 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 blah. Cool. So that conversation over there is completely different. That conversation over there is, what do you mean they don't cook? What do you mean they don't cook every night? What do you mean they don't do these? What? And that's just, we don't have that back and forth bickering like, well, I'm not your slave.
I
That's
think
not
I think that's generational. Honestly, I don't think
I used to think that.
no, I'm gonna argue with you because I know me and I know my friend. She cook, go to work full time, school full time, make sure her husband got dinner every day, clothes, clean house, all of that. I did the same thing. I'm very like, hey, we gonna meal prep. We're gonna make sure you got something to eat. Like I know Katrina is because we know we making sure
Are
cleaning
single
and
women
things like
doing
that.
that though?
I'm sorry.
Are single
We
unmarried
are
women?
single women who do that.
Well,
Us two sitting here on
no,
the
I mean
screen.
I
I'm
was,
sorry.
but you know
No,
what I'm
I'm
saying?
sorry.
Yeah, no.
I am single
Yeah,
currently.
but that's what I'm saying. Like before though, I was just
Right.
you know,
Not too long
so
ago.
yeah, so like yeah, even that's what that comes back to the boundaries I said earlier. Like, hey, like me just dating someone, I'm trying to make sure he eat, because that's what I've been groomed and nurtured to be as a woman, to make sure that he's fed, his clothes is clean, he got, you know, food on the table when he come home. At the same time, I'm working full time, maybe got a second job, going to school, do taking care of kids at the same time. So what I'm saying is, I don't know if that's a cultural thing or a generational thing. Now, I will say this, and I might get, you know, a pick me. You know, they might say I'm a pick me, but I think the younger, what generations? I mean, I know your generation.
I won't even say that either, because
I would, because
different.
Yeah, they don't. They're more entitled. They feel like they're the prize, and that you should provide for them, and their looks alone and their physique is what should make you want to provide for them, with them not having to do a damn thing.
Right.
Period. Nothing.
And I think
all you do is sit here and be pretty and maybe work a job and have physical, you know, sex. I don't gotta do nothing else. That we grew up knowing that we couldn't do that. I come from a diverse household too, where Latino women are very into submissiveness when it comes to that. But I think it's a generational thing. A lot.
That must be that service.
I feel like it goes both ways. Go ahead. What you say?
What you say, Vin?
I said that must be that cricket service.
Cricket service. No, but no. Honestly, I think it's a bit of both. Generational. I think it's the time we're in, millennially. It's just that instant gratification for things, but it is not. I mean, if we break it down appropriately, pay attention. We are women who are willing to cook and clean and take care of you emotionally, mentally, physically, all those things. And we expect the same in return.
Yeah.
It's the problem comes in matching those experiences. I need a man to also say, you're not going to take out the trash because I'm not going to cook this meal. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm going to take care of these household items, and you take care of these different cleaning household items, and vice versa. Those things, we have to balance those things. And when it starts to tip the scale, that's where we start to have issues. I think generationally, there's parents who don't teach their kids that they need to clean up behind themselves. There's parents who are not saying, hey, you know what, you need to be an adult, and that's what I need to train you to be. A lot in our culture specifically are not training our kids to be adults. It's training you to get to 18 and get out.
Exactly.
You know, those are where the problems come in. We're not training our children anymore. And that village mentality, the mental health, traumas as children not being addressed, these things carry on and make these things issues, but you cannot say that that's all of women.
Well, he didn't say
again. See,
he didn't say all.
No. And I'm just saying it. Not saying that you said it. I'm just saying you can't say it's all of women. We won't say it's all of men either. What I'm saying is it's culturally, it's based off circumstance. Whether it's a culture thing or not, it's based off circumstance, their experiences in life. That's going to be everywhere, every culture, every country. None of these things are changing. What I will say is in America, it is a little worse because we have a lot more access to things that are not good for us.
I will say this. I also think it's culturally, but also culture in different states are different. I've lived in a couple different states. Vic, you have too. And Midwest to down south to East Coast, totally different culture.
Absolutely different.
I felt like for me, when I was in Florida, it was more like I gotta look good and be pretty, work out, wear yoga outfits, and be cute. You know what I'm saying? I had to match. I felt like I had to get in the gym to match that energy and culture. It was a little bit more shallow for me. You know what I'm saying? But I love Tampa. Don't get me wrong. I want to move back ASAP. But culturally, I feel like it was a little bit more shallow. Down in Texas, it was a little bit more like, hey, you know what I'm saying? We down south, natural, we take you how you are type of mentality. So I do think it depends on where you live as well as the generation.
I agree. I agree. That's why growing up for me, I took after my grandmothers. I watched them. I know all their recipes. I pay attention to what they did to sustain their household and how family oriented they were. And I mirrored that. I picked from every different family member that I had in my family to mirror the positives that I saw in them.
I'm gonna say this before I pass it to Vic. Now, Vic, there are some of us that do what you said that you're looking for. I
Absolutely.
feel like the women that do that, we get taken advantage of. I can wholeheartedly tell you, in a dating world, before I got in my relationship I'm in currently, I would do those things and take advantage of me to the point where I'm like, okay, I gotta stop doing those things so quick because they not appreciating it. You know what I'm saying? That's why I said I struggle with boundaries. So like, can you elaborate on that aspect of it?
What I think it is, because it happens on both sides. I think men get with the wrong women, women get with the wrong men in early years. That then creates these scars that we carry on into the later years. So in the later years, we're more cautious. And when we start recognizing things like a skill set that I think everybody should learn to master is pattern recognition. So when I start recognizing patterns that I've seen before, it's like I'll say something about it, but then again, like I said earlier, it's very difficult in society today to correct a woman because then it's like, oh, you're misogynist. Oh, you think we're all the same. Oh, no, I'm recognizing a pattern that I've seen before. So I'm trying to prevent us from going down this rocky road and get us on the smooth pavement. But if you continue to fight me because you can't get out your own way and you won't allow any type of constructive criticism, then there's nothing I can do. So I think it happens on both sides. So men end up with women who mess them up mentally, and then women end up with men that mess them up mentally. But the
I do know.
difference
Go
that
ahead.
I think the big difference is a lot of times, and y'all may not like this, but a lot of times women leave those situations with a lot more baggage because they might come with kids. You might have kids from deadbeat fathers or men that messed you up mentally, that created whatever type of trauma. So now not only are you carrying that trauma, but you're also carrying the baggage that came with it. Not to refer to kids as baggage, but
Right, I get it.
y'all get what I mean. So
Yeah.
so you coming with that. So as men, so like now it's very difficult to find women who don't have kids. And then also a lot of women that are in the tier that kind of fits where I'm at mentally, they don't want to have more kids because they either worried about their body, they focus on their career, or something like that. So it's all of these focuses are outside of the home and outside of the relationship. They're all external, which is why I said men and women both need to figure out themselves, make themselves whole before they try to get in a relationship with somebody. Because if you still chasing all the external, you not gonna thrive in a relationship, period.
I get it. Okay, so men got it a little hard too. We got to give it to him, Katrina. He did.
We absolutely do.
I mean, you're not lying. Vic, I've always been, me and you always shared similar mindset. So you're not lying. But I just know that because when me and you I was married. So like now that I've had experience now, not being married and dating, I understand what you're saying because there are men who have to deal with narcissistic women. I've been hearing that a lot lately. I didn't even know it was this many women that were narcissistic. And then there's men who have women who don't appreciate having a man who is well put together, who has stuff together, who wants to come in and just provide and be your safety net. We used to those dudes that don't do nothing and got nothing going on, driving your car. You got to make the money, pay the bills, and He's, talking to you, cheating on you, got 50,000 women, but he still ain't doing these things. So then they come into a whole relationship with a good guy and don't really know how to act. I get it.
And we pay the price for it.
Right.
And so do we.
That's why so many good men are single right now, or they going elsewhere to find women elsewhere. That's why.
I can hear you. I completely get it, because we're at the point where, well, I won't say we, because she's now in a relationship, but I'm at a point where maybe I should be looking other places.
Why would you say you're single?
Me personally?
Yeah.
The reason I'm single, well, first off, let me be clear. I'm going through a divorce.
Okay.
The reason I'm going through a divorce is because me and my ex were not on the same mental playing field from the beginning. And when you, unfortunately, you have kids, not thinking about those things. We started out as kids. We were 16 when we met each other and thought we were falling in love. Don't know what love is, but now, hindsight is 2020. We figured that out. We don't quite mesh, but we spent 24 years together. 24 years. So a very long period of time. I'm a lot older than what I look, but we did that. Okay. I'm single because I want to be happy.
So in 24, it took you 24 years to realize that, or is it just at 24 years that's when you was just like, I had enough?
It got to a point where I'm tired of being cheated on.
Basically,
yeah. And I'm going to be as honest as possible. I don't cheat back. I'm not a Cheeto. I don't cheat back. But what I do is I leave.
She's a Dorito.
And I left on 3 different occasions. And I got to a point where, my kids deserve better than this experience. I kept trying to make it work. My kids deserve 2 parents in the household because I know what benefits I had from having 2 parents in the household. And I got to a point where I cannot keep trying to push this narrative for my kids when they're suffering because of this experience as well. We don't get along. There's no getting along when you have so many differences. I'm born with two parents. He's not born with 2 parents in the household. I have a certain lifestyle that I uphold. He's not from, the same space that I'm from. He runs a different circle than I do. And I'm a go-getter, and he is very complacent. And so just different.
So all right. So you were married for 24 years.
Oh my God. I was married for 12. We were together.
Oh, married for 12. Okay. Married for 12 years. So back to the conversation, how I said, are there single women that have the mentality that y'all speaking of? So you're just now getting into the single space.
Right.
You were not in the single space for the past
forever, actually, if you want to be
technical. So that is the point that I'm making, is the single women that have been in this space are not operating like that.
So can I tell you this?
Okay.
That pool that I was telling you about and you laughed at me, that's me telling you you're in the wrong pool.
Well, I want to hear the kiddie pool. Go back to the operating space though, because you're saying that.
So I would have to essentially, what I'm saying is, I would have to go find somebody who is going through a divorce right now to get those qualities. Now, again, I'm not saying all. I know there's exceptions. I know there are women out there that are single right now that can provide that haven't been married. Mm-hmm. But that's like this. Yeah. So in order to get those qualities, it's almost like you have to have a woman that has been married for a period of time, that actually lived that lifestyle. Because the women that haven't think that, oh, I'm not doing that until I get a ring on my finger. Well, you're not going to get a ring on your favorite finger until you can show that you're even capable of doing that.
Okay. So would you say that maybe the pool says previously married, has seen a married couple in their lifetime and know what love looks like, and as it relates to that, women who has been in long-term relationships also experience the same type of things that we married people have experienced. There's different pools, but I think
And that one when I said women who have been groomed to be a wife that
Absolutely.
are now single like me.
So this is the difference between men and women. Y'all are speaking from the woman's perspective. So when y'all are looking for men, there are very distinctive pools. Men looking at women, we don't have those distinctive pools.
What are those distinctive? Okay,
these
I get
are
what
human pools.
No, he's saying that they're like, I get what he's saying. He's saying that our pools are more distinctive and more
Yes, like they're defined. Like men that are financially stable, men that are mentally in the right place, men that know how to treat women, men that know how to do the masculine things like opening a woman's door, courting a woman, things like that. Those are defined things that are easy for y'all to identify.
That's what he's saying.
On the flip side, we don't have that. They're all it's one pool. Yeah. Now, yes, we can identify the hood boogers on the outside of the pool, on the edge of the pool that we don't want. But for the most part, it's one pool.
Okay. I get what he's saying. Okay, so
what he's saying, but I beg to differ. But
I agree with you, Vic. I agree with you on this one. I'm gonna agree with you on this one. What does being a real man mean to you in today's world? We're gonna end this relationship conversation with what does that mean in this world to you today?
One, knowing who you are, having an identity. That's not based around things that you do. I think a lot of times being a man is very performative in America. So a lot of things that men do is performance. Like we have to do things most of the things that men do is for women, to attract women or to cater to women. Kind of getting out of that performative nature and learning to just be. I think that's important. And then being able to identify where it is you want to go, how you gonna get there, and determining what people you help along the way. Because I think being a real man is also the people that you help. Because our gifts are not for us. Our gifts are for the world.
Yes.
So sometimes men can be selfish. And I think that kind of goes against the purpose of being here and the purpose of us having gifts, skill sets, and special qualities that we have.
Okay. All right, Vic. I like that. Okay. So what do you want people to say about you when it's all said and done? Like 10 years down the line, what do you want people to look back and say about Vic?
He did it his way.
He did it his way. Y'all hear that, ladies? He did it his way. All right. Last question. What's next for Vic? We done picked your brain. I still think we need a part 2 with him because I'm telling you,
I can agree with that.
He is a very methodical thinker. I'm telling you,
and I can't wait to read the book so we can talk about that next time because I'm gonna read that book and I'm gonna pick your brain.
Right.
What's next for Vic?
I'm working on a second book. It's gonna be kind of a completely different lane. The title, as of right now, it might change, but the title right now is "Are You Really Black?" And I know from the initial hearing the initial title, people probably thinking like, "Oh, it's tailored to Black people." It's actually for everybody. It's more so about labels. It's about again, why things are the way that they are. I want everybody, when you get off here, go look up the definition of Black.
Okay. Everybody, he said, go look up the definition of Black.
We have an assignment.
And then ask if you should still be referring to yourself as that, if you're a melanated person, that is.
Okay. Vic, any closing remarks? I friend, thank you so much for jumping on here. I knew it was gonna be good when I brought you on here. I knew it. I wanted them to see how a young, successful, handsome guy that is a father can still come on here and not use what's artificial things to stimulate his mind. He's skin deep on what he wants, and I think a lot of black men get overlooked for that. There's this thing where y'all want a fat ass when I know for sure that was something that did not pique him. You know, like I said, he said men will look at it, they'll lust after it, but I knew that's not something he wanted to have long-term life partners. So I wanted people to see that as young as he is. I mean, he's young. He's mid-30s, right, Vic?
Yeah, I'm 35.
35. That he can still have this kind of success. Arthur, well, Trey's been in 38 countries and he's only 35. Single father, Airbnbs, real estate, realtor. Like he's got a lot of things going for him. And, you know, he's still struggling to find love.
Oh, no, I ain't struggling.
You ain't struggling, Vic?
He's just picky, he said.
Okay, so let me rephrase it. Not struggling.
I'm enjoying. Like I'm out the country every.
Okay, but we know you're not. We know you're not tripping off love, but like it's hard to find love for a person like you. That's what I meant. Like when I said struggle, meant like
hard to settle.
He got options. Believe me, he got options. My inbox, I can pull out a lot of options. He doesn't like the options he have, so
it ain't hard to find either.
He's still okay. So there
it ain't hard to find. It's just love ain't gonna complete everybody. Love ain't gonna be what complete everybody.
Mm-hmm. So I got one question before we go. You have that sign back there that says you are powerful, and I know that you do a lot of philanthropy work. What is one powerful statement you can give to our audience to walk away with today?
Everybody that wakes up every day with the chance and the choice. What you do with that chance is your choice.
I believe in that. That's dope.
Love it.
Make it good.
Awesome.
Love it. All right, Vic, thank you for coming on. Go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I appreciate y'all for having me.
Yes. Thank you so much. We appreciate it. Thank you, everybody, for watching. Thank you, Vic, for joining us. I appreciate you. I might bring you back on here because I'm sure people are going to got some follow-up questions that we didn't
Absolutely.
get to. I know LaWanda probably got some questions to add. So I might bring you back for a part 2, but we thank you tonight for taking time out of your day, because I know it's later in Florida, to jump on here and talk to us. And Katrina, thank you for jumping on here and being our guest host, CEO Babe guest host today. We appreciate you. Did a great job. And thank you, everybody, for tuning in. So we're going to sign out. Thank you, Vic.
Yes, thank you.
All right. Bye, everybody.